Have you ever wanted to tell a computer exactly what to do? Well, today we're going to jump right into Python. It's this amazing programming language that's super powerful, but also surprisingly easy to get started with. We're going to cover the absolute basics to get you up and running.
It sounds like the setup for a really weird joke, right? But the answer actually tells us a lot about the whole philosophy behind Python. It makes this powerful tool feel a little more human, right from the get-go.
So get this, Python's creator, a guy named Guido van Rossum, was a huge fan of Monty Python's Flying Circus. He wanted a name that was short, kind of unique, and just a little bit mysterious. It really sets the tone that, programming can actually be fun and creative.
Okay, so at its very core, a computer program is just a set of instructions. Seriously, think of it like a recipe. You write down the steps, and the computer follows them to the letter. No guessing, no improvising.
And each one of these instructions has a name. It's called a statement. So, every single line of code you're going to write, that's a statement. It's one clear, specific command telling the computer what to do.
For example, this is one of the very first statements most people ever learn. That word print is a command that tells Python, hey, display whatever I put inside these parentheses. It's basically your first real conversation with the computer. You tell it to say good morning, and it does.
All right, so we can give instructions, that's cool. But what about information? We need a place to, store stuff. And this brings us to one of the most important ideas in all of programming.
We use things called variables, and honestly, the best way to think about them is as labeled boxes. Instead of trying to remember some complex location in the computer's memory, we just give our data a simple name, slap a label on the box, and you're good to go.
So here, we're actually doing it. We're creating a box, we're labeling it age, and we're putting the number 6 inside. Now, for the rest of our program, anytime we use the word age, the computer knows we're talking about the number 6. Simple as that.
Now, this is super important. You kind of have to unlearn a little bit of your grade school math here. In programming, the equal sign is not asking a question. It's not checking if two things are equal. It's performing an action. We call it the assignment operator.
It's literally telling the computer, take the value on the right and put it into the box on the left. So when you see age equals 6, you should actually read it in your head as age gets 6 or assign 6 to age. That little mental shift is totally key.
Okay, so we've got instructions and we've got boxes to store stuff in. Now let's put it all together and solve a simple, real-world problem. This is where the fun starts.
This is where programming starts to feel like a little superpower for solving puzzles. We have one number, 193, and we need to split it into two different pieces of information. So how do we do that?
Well, first, we use this cool operator, the double slash. It's called floor division. And all it does is answer one question. How many full times does 100 go into 193? And the answer, of course, is just 1. Boom, we've got our meters.
Next up, we use this operator, the percent sign. This is called the modulo, and it answers a different question. What's the remainder after you divide 193 by 100? Well, the remainder is 93. And just like that, we've got our leftover centimeters.
See how cool that is? Two simple operators working together to solve a problem. Floor division gives you the main result, and modulo gives you what's left over. They are an incredibly useful team.
Okay, now it's time to talk about something that every single programmer, from brand new beginners to seasoned experts, deals with every single day: making mistakes.
Let's just get this out in the open right now. Error messages are not failures. The computer is not yelling at you. They are actually helpful guides that the computer gives you when it's confused about your instructions. They're your friend, I promise.
I know, at first glance, an error message looks like a terrifying wall of text, but let's break it down. It's actually telling you exactly what went wrong and where to find it. That traceback is just the computer's way of showing you its work.
So when you get an error, don't panic. Just follow these 3 simple steps. First, find the file name and the line number. It tells you exactly where to look. Second, read the error type, like syntax error here, which just means you broke a grammar rule. And third, look for that little arrow, the caret symbol. It points to the exact spot where the problem is.
All right, on to our final big idea. As you write more and more code, you're going to find yourself writing the same instructions over and over again. So what if there was a way to just package those instructions up so you could reuse them?
Well, there is. We do that with something called a function. Think of it like creating your own custom mini recipe and giving it a name. Then, whenever you need to do that task, you just call the recipe by its name instead of writing out all the steps again. It's a huge time saver.
In Python, you create one of these reusable recipes using the keyword def, which is just short for define. So here we're defining a new function, a new skill called greetPerson. We've basically just taught the computer a brand new trick that we can use whenever we want.
And that's really where this whole journey starts. You now know how to give an instruction, how to store information, and how to create a reusable recipe. Every single complex app you've ever used, every website, it's all built from these simple, powerful ideas. So the only question left is, what are you going to build first?
If you like this video, subscribe our channel to get more like this and share with your friends. Your support is unavoidable in our progress. Wait, the comment section is not working in some of the videos. So, we are apologizing.